Okay, hey guys, what's going on and welcome back to my channel. My name is Hope if you're new and I'm really excited that you're joining me today. Today we're going to be talking all about how I plan my entire life in a pocket-sized planner. I get a ton of questions about how I make this all fit into a pocket planner because I really do keep everything in here. Everything from my daily habit tracking to daily to-do lists, weekly planning, monthly planning, tracking things I want to learn, my progress on different projects. There is a lot of information in here and I think that a lot of people tend to think, how is that even possible that it all fits inside of here? And so today I thought I would share some tips for you if you're looking at starting a pocket planner for yourself and just kind of give you guys an updated walkthrough. I started to use my Filofax pocket planner in July of 2024, so we are coming up on a year now, and it's honestly taught me so much about how I like to structure my life. It's taught me about what I want to prioritize, and I think there's just so much to having a physical planner like this that can really help you take back control of your life and really just kind of get your stuff together. My latest addition to this planner has been really trying to track things that I'm trying to learn about. I started to take a class on Skillshare all about how to essentially journal your life like it's a memoir. I've honestly just been experimenting with how I want my journal to be, and the idea of it being kind of like a memoir is really what inspired me to start this class. I've used Skillshare for quite a few different things, and this is probably one of my favorite classes that they offer. I'm currently on, I think, the 6th or 7th section of it, and I'm really just excited to see what else the course has to offer. I want to say a huge thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. There are seriously so many different classes on Skillshare. There is something for everybody. I tend to really gravitate towards like the art related ones, the crafting ones, and then the journaling ones. I feel like there's just always something new to learn, and as somebody who really likes to keep track of that kind of thing, I really enjoy just kind of keeping track of different key points from certain classes that I join, and I've made it so that it's really easy for me to look back on everything that I've learned. I have it all in my pocket planner and I can always just go back on Skillshare and access it there as well. But it's been one of those things that has really just kind of improved the way that I've been spending my free time. Like I was saying, I have used Skillshare in the past. They just have such a diverse range of classes on there that you can be a member of. And I love that I'm always able to try something new whenever I have the motivation to learn something different. If you're trying to get into journaling or planning or anything like that and you want to learn more in depth about maybe different methods, bullet journaling, or even other things like different crafts you can try, or like I'm doing memoir journaling, you can join Skillshare by using my link in the description. The first 500 people to use my link will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Section number 3 for me in my pocket planner has really turned into like a reference section. So I keep some notes back here just on the different classes that I take, and then I also have other things, my things to thrift list, and then behind this is actually a gift list where I write down just different gift ideas that I have for friends or family members. I'm going to keep it secret because I have some on there that are coming up. But yeah, section 3 has been just kind of a place for me to write notes down that I know I'm going to want to reference back on. And usually when it comes to things that I learn on Skillshare, I like to reference them every so often, and so it's nice just to kind of keep them all in the same place. But okay, let's say that you just got your first pocket planner and you are currently trying to figure out how in the world you are going to fit everything you want to inside of something that is literally the size of my hand. I think the first thing you really need to do is figure out what is important to you and what's not. And this is actually something that I've had to learn just through the process of designing and using my planner. I learned very quickly that this type of planner, or this size rather, is not really suitable for me when it comes to yearly planning. So I'm usually only looking at about a month's worth of pages in here at a time, which means that, you know, it's April right now. So when May comes, I'll have to take out all of the pages that are relevant for April and then replace it with May's. And so the downside to that is that I don't always have the ability to reference things from the past or reference them into the future. Positive side is that it keeps me really present and current in the moment. And so I think that there's kind of a give and take when you are working in a pocket planner. For me, it definitely is worth it, but it is something that I would note if you're kind of curious about experimenting with this size. So to show you, these are a few of the monthly pages. I have it from January in here just because my monthly pages are so small. And so when I talk about replacing pages, I am definitely more so leaning towards my weekly pages. Like here you can see that the kind of oldest page I have on here is from March 27. And then I kind of enter into April. I've been really enjoying using this little today marker. I added this really cute stained glass bird sticker on it just to kind of help me keep track of where I'm at. I do use predated weekly spread planning pages. These are just from Filofax. I like them because I did want to get a planning system that came predated. Again, looking at the size, you don't have a ton of space to work with. And so another tip I would kind of mention if you're curious about working in a pocket planner is to take a good look at the size of your handwriting and really kind of ask yourself, are you going to be able to write in a way that is suitable for this size? I don't know how well you guys can tell, but I am writing pretty small on these weekly spreads. This is one of my favorite pens. It is the Uni Jetstream and it comes in 3 different colors. And so you have black, red, and then blue. I want to say this is a 0.03 size pen, and that is pretty much the biggest I go when working in my pocket planner. So if you were sitting there and you're wondering whether or not a planner of this size would work for you, I would highly recommend that you kind of practice how small you feel comfortable writing, because the way I write in here is very different from the way I write in my personal planner. I definitely have a lot more space in that one to just kind of mess around with. And so that's just a quick little note, but I really wanted to talk about one of the benefits of only having this much space, because I feel like the initial reaction might be there's no way I'm ever going to be able to fit everything I need to remember or do for the entire week in just this page or in these 2 pages. And to that, I would really say that using a pocket planner to essentially organize my entire life has really made me check my priorities. I cannot tell you how intentional I've had to be when using my pocket planner. I am really mindful about how many words it takes for me to write out a certain task. Like a good example of this would be in a bigger planner, like when I was working in maybe like an A5, just like your typical notebook size. If I were to write something down like errands, I would usually write down exactly where I'm going, what time, and really just break down the detail of my errands trip. And more than half the time, I really didn't need to be putting that much detail into it because I really already knew where I was going. I just needed to make a note that I was going on that day. So using a pocket planner has really helped me just kind of be more concise with my planning, which in turn also really helps alleviate any over planning or overthinking. And so I would say that using a pocket planner can be really nice if you struggle with overthinking, because you're just going to kind of start to simplify everything you want to get done, and it definitely becomes a lot easier the more you do it. The next thing I wanted to share with you when it comes to using a planner to organize your life is to really start to treat it like a friend. This might feel a little bit silly, and honestly it kind of even feels a little bit silly just to say it, but really when you start to treat your planner the way you would treat a friend, where you want to update them on what's going on in your life, you want to fill them in, you want to keep them posted, you want to kind of just share your life with the person who is sharing their life with you. And so when I started to treat my planner in that way, where in the same way where I want to text my best friend when something happens, I want to go into my planner whenever something new happens, whenever something's on the horizon, whenever I accomplish something. I'm essentially treating it like my little paper friend, and I think that that's just a really fun and cute way to remember to keep your planner updated. Your pocket planner is going to work as well as you let it, and so it's one of those things where if you're constantly taking the time to update it, to make sure that you're catching up on it, and if you fall behind for a few days, you go back in and catch up. I am most likely guilty of doing that when it comes to my daily habit tracker. Like even if we were to look at this, it is currently the 5th of April, and so I'm already, I guess, like 2 days behind on my habit tracker because life happens and that's normal. But I really just want to make sure that I then schedule in some time to go into my planner and do a little update session, almost in the way where you would go and grab coffee with a friend to catch up. That's essentially what I do with my planner. I make myself a coffee and I do a little catch-up session. And that's honestly a good tip for any planner. It doesn't just have to be the pocket-sized ones. Really just treating it like a friend and making sure that you take the time to get in there and update it whenever you need to. We've officially reached that part of my planner where I have all of my foldouts, and this is another really good tip for pocket planning. I got these off of the Filofax website. I'm gonna have everything linked down below in case you want to check them out, but these are amazing for pocket planning because look at all this extra space you get. This is my mood log for 2025. I have the key for it on the back, but this foldout is amazing because imagine all of the space that this would take up if I you know, had to print this out on a bigger page. They are super convenient for pocket planning, and because it's something where I'm really trying to use this planner for everything and anything, I probably have 4 or 5 of these in my planner, honestly maybe even 6, because they really are that good. I find them just to be so easy to use. I love that I'm able to see the entire year, because that's honestly something I never thought I'd be able to do in my pocket planner. So I would highly recommend taking advantage of a bunch of foldouts when it comes to pocket planning. They really do make a world of difference when it comes to saving space and then also maximizing the way that you can use a planner of this size. Another question I get about my pocket planner is, when do I use this? And the answer to that is pretty much every day, all day. Like I said, I really do believe in treating your planner like a friend, and so you're going to be updating it often, catching it up on your life, and really just using it for what it's there for, and that is to keep you on track, hold you accountable, and get what you need to do done. Because at the end of the day, that is what you are using a planner for. You're using it so that you can accomplish something, you can take a step closer to the person you want to be. There are so many reasons why somebody might want to use a planner, but a pocket one in particular for me is really just because of how I'm able to take it everywhere with me, so there really is never a time of the day where I don't have access to it. If I know I'm going out and about, I will take this out of the top section, and then my credit card goes here, and my driver's license and insurance card goes in that slot, and so I'm able to use it as a wallet on the go, and then also still be able to reference my calendar, my to-do list. Like I mentioned earlier, section number 3 is like my reference section, and so let's say I go out thrifting and I want to be a little bit intentional with what I'm purchasing. I already have a list here full of things that I want to kind of keep my eye out for. I know I share a ton of videos about my pocket planner, and you guys have pretty much seen the entire thing at this point, but I really just wanted today's video to be about how it is possible to plan your entire life in a pocket-sized planner, and hopefully you were able to gain a little bit of inspiration from some of the tips that we talked about today. I thought I would end off today's video just by answering a couple of questions that relate to today's video topic, so just how I use a pocket planner in my day-to-day life. The first question was about how I keep it organized while also keeping it creative, and I would really recommend using dividers and bookmarks for this. Using clear plastic dividers like this is a great way to add a bit of your own personal style, because obviously you can add in your own covers, you can add in photos that you print out, but then you also get the added benefit of being able to use them as like an organizational tool. So for example, divider number 2 in my pocket planner has all of my trackers. So I've got my workout log, cleaning checklist, my daily habits, daily gratitude, my low buy tracker is in here. Pretty much everything that I track is in section number 2. And so utilizing dividers like this can be a way where you can decorate your planner, but then also add that element of organization. Same thing goes with bookmarks. If I ever need to get to a specific spot in my planner, this is what I'm using. And then you can also decorate these in all sorts of ways. You can also get these kind of like cute little metal bookmarks for smaller tabs. I like to use these on the right hand side. This one goes to my cleaning checklist, and then this one is my daily habits. Again, just a fun way to add a little bit of design to your planner, but then it also kind of has that double purpose of kind of helping you keep it organized. The next question I got involved why I chose a pocket size planner and not a personal. I wanted to quickly mention that I do have a personal size planner as well. I'm going to be making a pretty in-depth comparison video for you guys in the future, but the reason I think I'll always gravitate towards a pocket size planner really just comes down to its versatility. I feel like its size allows me to bring it everywhere with me, and with that being said, I use it for a lot more things in my life because I know that I'm never going to be without it. When it comes to my personal planner, I use that a lot more for like daily memory keeping. I use it for like more work related to-dos, but it really rarely leaves my desk, and even more so my house. And so I'm not able to put any grocery lists in there. I don't use it for my thrift list. I don't use it to keep track of any appointments or anything like that because I know that I'm not always going to have it on me. So I would say that the pocket planner size just really worked out for me because it just fits in literally any purse or bag I possibly could use. And honestly, this is probably just like an aesthetics answer, but I just find the smaller planner to be just cuter. I don't know, there's just something about it that makes me really happy, and I think that that's what really contributed to me choosing a pocket size planner first and then getting the personal later on to just kind of try it out. And then the final question is about my daily planning routine in here, and so I thought I'd give you guys a quick walkthrough of kind of what I do every morning. morning. Again, I'm going to be doing a more in-depth video about my daily planning process, and I'm probably going to make it like a plan along with me video. But for now, let's pretend it's like 6:30 in the morning. I woke up, I washed my face, I made myself a little coffee. I've been obsessed with hazelnut coffee lately. And then I sat down to do my morning planning. I always keep my planner closed. I don't know. I think I just like the feeling of opening it up again, so I always close it when I'm done. I open her up and then I begin my daily planning. I've really set up my planner in a way where I can start at the beginning and work my way through essentially the entire planner every single morning. So it starts here, and then initially I will update my inbox page if I have one. Right now I'm not really using an inbox page as much. I'm using these sticky notes. I usually just keep one of these pasted to the back of this little, what's it called, photo booth photo. That's how I've been doing my inbox page lately. And so if there's anything I want to write down that I need to get done either that day or that week, I just go ahead and write it in right there. As I keep on flipping, I run into my monthly spread. I actually haven't finished my April spread yet. I kind of fell behind. I was feeling a little bit sick at the beginning of this month, and so it was just kind of all over the place for me. Anyways, I'll go through and I'll X off the current day, check to see if anything's going on that day, and then I flip immediately to my weekly spread. Here's where I'll go through and essentially see if there's something I need to still do. And so I was putting off calling the doctor, and I still am probably going to put it off today. And when that happens, I just make a little arrow over the bullet point that I use to mark tasks. That's something that I adopted from the bullet journal method, and I just have always kind of done it ever since. If I've completed something, I go ahead and I just kind of mark an X through it. And then I don't know if I mentioned it, but an arrow just represents kind of rescheduling it for the future. If I ever want to remove something from my to-do list, I just kind of cross out the entire thing. And then obviously a dot that doesn't have anything done to it is something that I'm still looking to do. After I finish my weekly spread, I'll go here, and this is my workout plan. Currently, I'm just kind of writing down if I completed a workout that day, and if so, what did I do? I go to my cleaning checklist that I really just use as a reference list. That way I don't have to always reprint it. I go through and make sure that I have made a plan to complete all of my everyday tasks. And then I also go to the day of the week, and then I look at if there's any like area focus tasks that I need to do. Then I start work on my daily habits tracker. Usually in the morning, there's not a lot for me to update except for the 7 to 8 hours of sleep from the night before. And then I'm also usually able to mark off my skin and body care. The next thing I update is my daily gratitude list, and I just kind of write down one thing that I'm grateful for. My one line a day is something I update at night, and so there's nothing to update in the morning. I also really like to update my mood tracker at night as well. I have to catch myself up on that one. My what I accomplished list is also updated at night, and then my song of the day is kind of updated whenever I hear a song that I want to remember. I've also been adding them all to a playlist on Spotify, so I can kind of have a whole 365-day playlist at the end of the year. I've been updating my low-buy on a weekly basis, and so I don't really need to worry about that. I have completely fallen off my 100 book challenge as well as the days I've read. February was a huge reading month for me. I think I read 3 to 4 books in February. And then in March, I pretty much just forgot that I could read. And so I kind of just read bits here and there, but I don't think I finished anything. Once I get to section 3, I'll update it if I've thought of anything I want to kind of log. So if there's anything I learned from the previous day that I didn't get a chance to write down, I'll go ahead and do it then. But that's pretty much what my morning planning routine looks like in my pocket planner. If you guys have any other questions, definitely feel free to leave them down below in the comment section. Also, don't forget to check out Skillshare using the link in the description. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to like and subscribe if you're new. I do my best to post 2 videos every single week, and I would absolutely love to have you here as a part of our community. Thank you guys again so incredibly much for watching. I hope that you are having an amazing week so far, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye guys.